Hey guys, welcome to Troy's Garage. My name's Troy. This is my garage. Today we're working on a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Limited. The customer, also my wife, complained about the engine was just shaking. She put it in reverse, the engine was just caw, like real bad. So let's go take a look at that and we'll see if we can figure out what's going on and how to fix it. The complaint is the engine is kind of rocking back and forth. You put it in driver park, the engine shakes even a little bit more. I just took it for a drive through a parking lot. By the time I got back, check engine light's on. So we're gonna scan it, see what's happening. Plug in the ODB2 reader. It's powering on. Engine is running. Check engine light is on. We have a P0304. A cylinder 4 misfire detected. So I'm going to turn the engine off. We're going to look at cylinder 4. It's probably going to be a coil pack or a fouled plug, something to that effect. So this car is probably due for some maintenance. We're at just over 83,000 miles on it. Let's pull a coil pack, take a look at the plugs and stuff like that. Removing this cover is just pull up on it pretty hard. This reveals your different coil packs. I believe, I'm gonna have to Google this to be sure, but I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at this guy back here. It should be 10 millimeter or so. Should be all it's required to get that out of there. Get that off of there as well. Yeah, it should just be a 10 millimeter. Remove the electrical connection from it. We'll pull the coil pack. We'll yank that spark plug and take a look. So I've already pulled the 10 millimeter out. It's just the one on the one side. To get the coil pack electrical connector off, you just pull up on that red tab. That frees it enough that you can push down on the thumb tab and then pull and it comes off. But if that red tab has to be pulled up in order for that to release to allow it to flex down like that. So once that's free, you can pull the coil pack out. This could be our culprit, but I'm gonna pull the spark plug, take a look. I haven't been this far inside this engine yet, so let me yank that thing out and we'll take a look at it. Well, this spark plug is nasty gross. Let's see if I can get this to focus better. It's got some serious buildup on it. It's probably fouled, which would explain a misfire situation. I have no idea what that stuff is. Well, it's hard as a rock. It almost looks like it should be slimy. But let's, at this point, I'm gonna take the rest of them out. We're gonna do plugs. I'll take this coil pack with me. I believe that we can test these things out at the O'Reilly's. So we get the rest of these out. We'll take a look at what the plugs look like. We'll go from there. As a best practice, you should always keep things in the order that you pull things out of. There's coil pack from number 1, spark plug, coil pack, just like that, all the way down. Even my bolts I put there out of convenience. Those things are hot, so I'm tempted to touch them, but I'm not going to. There's white deposit on 3 of the 4, and then number 4 has that weird buildup on it. So I'm going to take these plugs with me into O'Reilly's. I'm going to take that coil pack since that's kind of a culprit. One troubleshooting step you could do though is to swap 2 of the coil packs if your plugs all looked good, right? Mine don't, so that's clearly suspect. So I'm going to leave this in that location, and if the check engine light comes back on with a misfire there again, I'll know it's that coil pack. But I'm going to take that in and see if they can test it. One way to keep things organized, use a piece of cardboard. I just stabbed those things through it so that they're kept in the same order. I'm going to take these down to the boys at the O'Reilly's, have them checked out. Here we are, the O'Reilly Auto Parts. Because of the deposits on the spark plugs, my boy Hayden recommended that we do a bottle of seafoam through the fuel tank as well. So spark plugs, air filter, seafoam. Also noticed in store that the porcelain's broken on number 4. You can see the difference between the two. Out of sheer curiosity, I wanted to see what each of the cylinders looked like, so I put my bore scope down inside there, looking at 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'll post the picture of those up on the screen here. Quite a few deposits in especially number 4, which is not surprising based on what we saw on the spark plugs. At this point, I'm going to put the plugs back in. We're going to put the seafoam in the tank. We're going to replace the air filter. O'Reilly's does not actually test coil packs. I was under the impression they did. He's like, I mean, we can look up the specs, and if we have time, we can help you like ohm them out and that sort of thing. But basically, if one goes bad, you can swap it to another spot in the engine and the code should follow. So that's the troubleshooting technique I mentioned earlier. So that's what I'm going to do. Just put that back in. I'm pretty sure it's good based on what I see on the spark plugs. So let's just go to that point, get this thing put back together and fire it up and see what happens. I'm also just using a tiny bit of anti-seize. This is definitely not thread lock. You'd get your plugs stuck in there. A little bit of this stuff goes a long ways. I just put a little bit on around like that and then rub my finger so it forces it down into some of the threads, evenly spreads it out. Link down below for all the stuff I used for this maintenance job. This is what it looks like after I kind of ran my finger around it, forced it into the threads. Now I'll just put it in. I start them by hand, make sure that they grab, and then you can use a wrench. I do use this, but I only go until it tries to stop me, meaning it seats all the way. So it's nice and slow, don't get crazy with it. Yep, just like that, that's all it needs. Don't torque these things clear to Alabama or you'll never get them out. One more to put in, coil packs, test this bad boy out. Oh, and air filter. So I saved putting on the last 2 connectors so that you can see how that goes. Basically, the blue goes down inside the coil pack itself, and then once it's seated all the way, you just press that red clip back in and it locks it in place. So it just clicks in and then clicks again. Now, in case you didn't see that all the way, I'm gonna do this one by watching the camera instead of my hands. So it clicks in, you actually heard that click, and then that clicks in. And that should lock it in place. So you can give it an earthquake check, right? Give it a tug, make sure everything stays seated. In theory, this should fire, but I'm gonna replace the air cleaner while we're here as well. Just make sure we're getting clean air to this thing. And then we're gonna put the seafoam in the tank. So we'll run that through and let's get to that point and then we'll fire it up and see if the code goes away auto-magically. For changing the air filter in a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Limited, basically they made this super hard on you. You just pull that up, there's your filter right there. So you unlock both of those and then you pull this out. Let's see how bad this thing looks. Oh yeah, that's definitely clogged up. I'm gonna get my shop vac out, vacuum out all that crap that's down in there, and then we'll insert the new filter. There it is over there. 10127 is the part number. And that should cross-reference between a Wix and a whatever, but I suggest using the Wix. Alright, that's looking much more better. That looks a lot better down in there. There's still some stuff in there, but it'll be all right. It'll get caught with the new filter. Thank you, Shop Vac. Take your brand new filter, put it in the exact opposite as you pulled it out. There's no locking tabs on this one. That's fine. It's not like it's going anywhere. Lock it back in place. Good to go. Next is the Italian engine rebuild. Just kidding. This stuff just cleans fuel systems, stuff like that. It can hurt the finish on a paint, so be cautious there. But you just take it, make sure you have enough fuel in your tank so that it mixes basically right. But I've got 3/4 of a tank. That's close enough for what we're doing. I'll run get some gas on my test drive. Make sure that our check engine light turns off and then it runs smoothly. Awesome, awesome stuff. This stuff will clean, well, it cleans everything. So at this point, I'm just gonna do a little basic cleanup, get the tools off of here. I'm gonna leave the cover off for now while we start it for the first time and just see what it's doing. Show you if it's shaky, bakey, or check engine code, clear, whatever the case may be. All right, here we go for the first start. Ooh, still really rough. Let's see if it'll calm down. Hey, calm down, took a second. No check engine light at the moment. Let's see what the engine itself looks like. Oh yeah, much more calm. Nothing shaking and baking. So that appears to have resolved our misfire issue. I'm gonna put the cover back on it, take it for a spin, see if the check engine light stays off. Cover reinstalled. Let's go get some fuel. So far so good. No check engine light, and it's running really smooth. Here at the gas hall. Let's fill her up. Remove nozzle. Don't come here for the blue stuff. You won't get any. Let's go with this stuff. 85 octane because race car. Fuels, top clear off. Still at 83,000, 20 miles. This gas station's less than a mile from home. It fired up just smooth as could be this time. So no hiccups, no nothing, no check engine lights. I'm gonna take this thing out on the highway, get it up to some higher RPMs, that sort of thing, where I won't get in trouble or cause too much attention to be drawn to myself, and then head for home. We'll call this one fixed if all goes well. 6 miles in, no check engine light, running like a top at the car wash. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. If I've earned a thumbs up, please be sure and do that. Also, here's a couple more videos there on the screen that you can enjoy now if you like. Thanks again.